Good evening. It's Thursday, the 10th of December, 2020. Diane Hands bringing you Book for the Day, Human Crossings, 9 stories about refugees. And I've been reading to you from the story that I wrote for this book, Rabina's story, From Riches to Rags to Riches. And yesterday we got to this part in the story. Mother and baby Sami's bodies could now be taken to an undertaker and arrangements made to have them buried. Mr. and Mrs. Langos are such a tower of strength. They organise everything for my mother's funeral. The cost of the funeral is not a problem. Thankfully, Father has plenty of money in his bank account. But he has gone to pieces. He just stares into space, and we have to ask him the same question over and over. My mother and brother are buried in a lovely spot, overlooking the sea. None of us want to leave the graveside. It all seems so final. I need you, Mother. Please. Please, what am I to do? Frank has tried to find us another place that we can put our tent, but the campsite is full. He suggests we camp at the refugee site until we get our passports, adding, we can take care of your truck and trailer until you are ready to leave. When I have space, you can come and I'll come and collect you. But I hope you'll all be in England before that. Surely Mr. Ben Joseph will be back by now. We just take the middle part of the tent and a few possessions. The rest of our stuff goes into the trailer and Father drives it to reception. I have the thought, this is not real. It is a horror story. I am dreaming. But it is not a dream. Frank drives us to the refugee camp and helps us to push up our tent. He says, it's not going to be for long, Nazar. You should soon get your passports and we will keep in touch. With a wave, he drives out onto the road. What now? Father sits with his head in his hands. I ask, we should go and look around so we know where the toilets are and where we can get water. Reluctantly, he gets up and we all go to find out where we can wash and get drinking water. On our way back to our tent, Father asks a group of men if they have seen Mr. Ben Joseph. The response is very vague. Haven't seen him. Shouldn't be long. Now, though, fancy a game of cards? Father says, no thanks. And we go back to our tent. But where we then have something to eat and get ready for bed. Saeed asks if we can keep the light on. Father nods for a little while. Just before I go to bed, Father says to me, we shouldn't have to be here long, Rabina. It is so hard without Mother. Go to sleep now. I won't be long. I'm just going to go for a walk. Keep the light on if you want to. I did not hear him come back, but the next day he was stretched out on his bed. holding a bottle of whisky, which he continued to drink throughout the day. I was able to buy some food with a little of the money that I had. Father didn't want any food, just another bottle of whisky. Frank comes to visit, but cannot take us back with him. He seems at a loss as to what to say to my father. Weeks pass. The weather becomes very cold and it seems to rain non-stop. Father takes to drinking heavily. We were very lucky when the authorities came round to the site to look for children that are on their own. They look into the tent and see my father asleep and walk away. Time drags. What am I to do? I had better see if I can get some food. I bend over to put on my boots and father wakes up. He sees my gold necklace and grabs it, yanking it from my neck. I try to pull it from him. His hand, but it's too strong for me. No, father. It's all I have left of mother. He also takes my winter coat, pushing me away, and goes to see the men who sell him whisky. I see them greet him warmly as he tries to sell my locket and coat. I can hear him shouting. The men take him a little way from our tent, so I can't hear what is being said. Later, I'm told what happened. Apparently, it went something like this. And we'll read what happens to Rabina and her family tomorrow. Human Crossing's 9 stories about refugees can be found on Amazon, and you can read a little bit more on our Facebook page. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow, Diane Hans.